What's up guys, this is Chris here, and today we're going to be talking about the new Surefire X300 Turbo. The Surefire X300 Turbo has made quite a splash in the industry as of late, and as it should. The X300 and all of its variants, the B and the Ultra, have been used in the not only tactical community, but self-defense community for many, many years. There's been tons of updates to these lights, and for good reason. It is the gold standard. It has a relatively high candela rate, which gives it a good throw. It has a pretty good splash, it has pretty good lumens, and it gives you an all-around performance that most people are looking for in a pistol light. On top of that, the overall silhouette of the light hasn't changed in a long time, allowing all the holsters that have been made over the past 5 to 7 to 10 years to still work. On top of that, there are plenty of holsters out there now that are only universal holsters where they use the X300 pattern as the actual holster system, and you can use any gun. So the X300 Ultra arguably has the most light-bearing holsters of any light. I believe it does. So with the new Turbo that they've done, they didn't change the pattern at all, which is really nice. So all the holsters and all the guns and everything will work all the same for it. The exact same size, the exact same weight, 4 ounces, and it just sticks out about the same length of a Glock 34 if you're interested in the length that it sticks out past. It's actually pretty good that it sticks out a little bit further than the barrel as well, because you can use it as a standoff device. So if you have to press the gun into an intended target, the gun will still work well. We used this in a lot of testing. We tested the crap out of it, as you can see here, and overall the light had mixed results. Now, as far as the actual operation of the light, it's absolutely excellent. The centered beam not only allows you more of a throw, but you can essentially aim with it in 0 to 10 yards. I was actually shooting intuitively at night with the Prodigy, and basically just not even using my sights and aiming with the light like it would be a laser, and it did work. I was able to get hits on target accurately at 10 yards pretty much all the time. But you also have to remember that I do practice intuitive shooting for USPSA, and I do often shoot that way up close. It's more of a muscle memory type of situation than anything, but the light did really help. And the issue with that is sometimes when you're in a stress response, like somebody breaks in your house, for example, when you might be using this light, you have a hard time not focusing on the target. And if you don't have a red dot and you have iron sights, sometimes you just focus on the target and you can't not do it. Like if Jason's in your house and he's got a knife, it's hard not to focus on the knife. So it is nice to have that tight of a beam pattern in case you do need to use it as an ulterior aiming mechanism. The interesting part about it though is that it did seem just easier overall to acquire targets not only at distance, but it felt very smooth to shoot up close. The throw was amazing. This light is designed for more candela, and that is pretty apparent. The beam is not only more centered, but visible up to 150 meters, which is pretty incredible actually, considering it's a pistol light. The candela on the light is 666,000 with 650 lumens. So it actually has less lumens by 350 if you can do the math from the Surefire X300 Ultra, which has 1,000 lumens, but it has more candela, so it has more distance overall. All right, this is the new X300 Turbo. As you can see here, very focused beam. A wild pig. A couple of mutts over there, yep, about 25 yards, 20 yards away. Very focused beam. Now we have the X300 Ultra. You can see is a significantly different beam pattern. Good for area lighting, which is good for some, but not as good to defeat an opponent with light or anything like that. And then we have the TLR1 HL. More similar to the new Turbo in my opinion. All right, now we got the Turbo at 50 yards, and this is really where it starts to shine. You can see they're very focused beam, easy to identify any of the targets. At 50 yards, you could be able to see what's in somebody's hands. That's really important, or behind a barricade. You know, it's easy to see a white target, it's harder to see details, so I like that a lot. Then we have the regular Ultra. Still pretty illuminated, illuminates more of an area, but not as focused. And then we have the Streamlight. And for $100 bucks, I gotta tell you, That's pretty close to the performance of the turbo for me personally. Now the turbo from 100 yards, and still at least to my naked eye, it might not show it on camera, but it is still very visible. Like you could still see something in somebody's hands, so everything's illuminated really well. The Ultra, definitely not as clear from 100 yards, not even remotely close. So the throw on the turbo is definitely better. And then we have the Streamlight, which I think is also probably almost as good as the turbo. Not quite, but pretty close. And again, for about a third of the price, not bad. We got 5 yards away. We have the X300 Turbo. You can see Clint Eastwood's about 10 yards away there. So pretty good for inside as well, except for if you hit, let's say, a white wall, you get a lot of splashback. Not really, actually. That's more than tolerable. So I think that's very useful indoors. Certainly the light itself is awesome. You can actually see the broken lens too, which is pretty dope. Personally for me, I don't think there is a shocking difference in overall use, especially indoors, where you're going to be using a pistol light most likely. That being said, if you're interested in a long throw, the turbo is certainly probably the way to go. With a weight of 4 ounces and a distance of 150 meters, not only do you get that long distance, but you get a very centered, intense dot, which helps defeat people with light as well. Putting light at somebody and they don't have an ability to see you and the light is shocking, they might actually just surrender just from that. A lot of people say that you're going to be able to shoot at the light. That's certainly possible. I'm not the biggest tactic guy, but I can tell you that these lights now, especially this one, is so blinding that if someone would put this in your face within 25 yards, it's very difficult to see anything at all. As you can hopefully see from some of the footage, I actually shot a target from 10 yards, 25 yards, and 50 yards with the light actually facing at the camera. I put the camera at the target, so you can kind of get an idea of what that's gonna look like. The construction is aluminum housing. It's completely waterproof. It takes still the same 2 CR1238 lithium batteries, which is nice because you can find those anywhere. You can get them at Walmart or wherever you want to get them at, and you can throw them in there. They don't have to use the new rechargeable ones, which is what most people have gone to. The finish is a hard anodized A8625 Type 3, whatever the fuck that means. The coating is still pretty good. It's been good on all the other ones. They've been very waterproof and very easy to use. Now, the switches are the same, and the mounting is the same as well. It comes with one universal mount and then the Picatinny rail mount, I believe, and you can use whichever one for whichever one you want. I like to use one for Glocks and then one for 2011s. Overall, the mounting system is the exact same. The way to get the batteries out is the exact same. The bevel's the exact same. The only real difference is the throw, and that this one actually failed our durability test. So now we're going to be drop testing the Surefire X300 Turbo to see if it is as durable and reliable as its predecessors. Broke the lockup. Yep, that was fast. Oh, snapped it back on.
Okay.
Take a look at it. Didn't break, it just popped off and popped back on. Let's try it again. And then again.
This is an unloaded gun, by the way.
How do you know? I'm kidding. There we go. And my Glock looks pretty.
Turn it on. Haha.
So take it off. Stop abusing my Glock 19X, even though that's what I bought it for. Here, throw it up in the air. So the durability test on this one, we not only did it off the gun, but we did it on the gun. And during some of the testing, not only were we able to drop the gun from shoulder height, and we were able to dislodge it from the rail system, which was forgiving because when we snapped it off and snapped it back on, it still held. However, on one of these shoulder height drop tests, we did in fact break the bezel of the light. And as you can see there, the light is still operable. However, not for very long. So what I'm gonna have to do is test Surefire's warranty, their legendary warranty, and have this sent back, and hopefully they'll send me a new one, and I'll have to do a follow-up video on how that goes. Surefire as a company is well known for their warranty, and I've never heard anyone that really had any problems with them, so I have a feeling that their warranty and everything will be just fine. It is interesting to me that we did completely break the glass out and the light is still operational, so that is nice. However, I would have preferred that the light didn't break, simply because we've done this same testing, except more extreme, on the Olight Turbo series, the Streamlight TLR7 series, and the TLR1. All three of those lights passed this testing, so I didn't expect this one not to. We've also done the same testing that we did on this one with the X300 Ultra and the X300B, and both of those passed as well. As you can see, this is the actual X300 Ultra that got tested, and you can see that there is no problems on it whatsoever. Not only after a ton of drop testing, is it less durable than the previous series? Possibly. Is it a sample size of 1? Also possible. You know, you have to understand that it could just be this maybe was a faulty light and I just happened to get a bad one, but this is not a good sign for me, and I'll tell you why. The Streamlight series in particular is much more affordable than this light. This light coming in at around $300 to $400 depending on where you find it, and the reason why you buy stuff with Surefire on the side of it is so you can avoid situations like this. That is why you get Surefire. So the light works all the time, so it's very durable, so you can drop out of a helicopter, you can drag it behind a boat, whatever the fuck you want to do. The reality is though, is that this sample size of 1 proved not to live up to that hype. It proved not to live up to that track record. So that's one thing you guys are gonna have to keep in mind when you're thinking about spending $400 on a light when you can get a TLR1 for around 100 bucks. And I wanna thank the patrons and supporters for allowing me to do that. I bought it with the patron dollar, so if you wanna support the content and you like the unbiased content, just go to the description below and sign up. Also in the description is a local shelter in Ames, Iowa. It's the YSS. It could really use your help. It's a youth shelter. Please get out and donate to those kids. But overall, I feel like the light does everything I wanted it to do, except for all the things that the old one used to do, like stay not broken, I guess. I'm a little taken back by this because I didn't think this light was gonna break. Out of all the lights I've ever tested, I was certain that this one would be fine, and that's what I get for thinking ahead, I suppose. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Please support local shelters and remember to recycle. I'm going to be doing a follow-up video of this. Obviously, this is a gold standard light, and I want to see if this happens again. So we are going to send this to Surefire, and hopefully they send it back in a timely manner. When they do, we're going to drop it and beat it up again, and if it breaks again, you're going to see it again. I'll check you later.